Yo, what's up YouTube? James Baek here and welcome back to another week of the WBE. We have week 5 versus Nexus upcoming, coach of the Pittsburgh Pichus. If you want to go check out his channel, go check it out. Link in the description down below. He makes some really funny content, and it's really enjoyable. I've actually been watching it a lot recently, so make sure you go check it out. Linked in the description down below. But we do have a pretty tough opponent. This is actually one of the, I think, harder, and I mean harder matchups for us. Now I faced Visually last week, and I'm facing Nexus this week, and they both have probably, I think, some of the most solid drafts, especially when it comes to the offensive department. They can just they have a lot of wall breakers, and I'm really scared about my damage output against them because they can just break through my team, I think, really well potentially. So yeah, this is definitely one of the scarier matchups, and looking at the team, there's a lot of prep that I had to go for. But yeah, I have finally decided on the team, and I do have to make an announcement before we get into it. If you don't know my team, we did actually make some changes. So we changed 2 Pokemon, and that change is now permanent for the entire draft, and I felt like I had to make the changes in order to do well, especially since I felt like overall it was pretty good. So my team, the Jubilife Piplups, consists of Corviknight, Conkeldurr, Rotom Wash, Amoonguss, Umbreon, Rhyperior, Reboot, Frostlass, Clefairy, and welcome our 2 new members. Torracat was unfortunately dropped, as well as Delmise. I just wasn't really bringing them. Delmise I brought week 1, and I really haven't seen a reason to bring it ever since. And then never really brought Torracat. I think Torracat is actually funny because I think Torracat was actually the best this week, but it wasn't the best against my future opponents as well. So I decided to make some changes in order to make my team stronger. So we have 2 new additions to the Jubilife Piplups, being Alolan Exeggutor, which I'm very excited to use because I never really use this Pokemon in general, and then Oranguru. So the reason I decided to draft Oranguru and the Alolan Exeggutor is because since my team was slow, a lot of recommendations actually from the comments was to get Trick Room, and I did want a Trick Room user, but unfortunately I wasn't able to pick up exactly the mons that I wanted originally. So kind of all the Pokemon that I really want to try out didn't exactly work out for the last few slots, because I felt they were repeating roles, and I wasn't sure at the time. So I picked out a rapid spin user in Delmise, which I thought was cool, and then I picked up Torracat, which was a plan that I originally had. But since I've been bringing Reboot more than Torracat, and Torracat really would have only been good for this week, decided to drop it for Oranguru, which can have Trick Room as well as a Ghost Resist, since I felt like my team was kind of weak to Ghost. It doesn't have the best switch-ins to it. And then Alolan Exeggutor because I really wanted a Dragon type actually, and as well as Trick Room, and it gets some pretty cool options that I didn't actually notice when I first was looking through the Pokemon available. So I did pick them up in free agency, so they will be sticking with us for the rest of the season. So yeah, I'm hoping that they are going to be able to put in work. So the Pittsburgh Pichus, coached by Nexus, their current team is going to be the following: Rillaboom, Keldeo, Weavile, Type Null, Gardevoir, Salazzle, Druddigon, Heliolisk, Steelix, Drifblim, and the Shelmet. So other than the Shelmet, I'm pretty scared of this draft overall. It's got a lot of offensive threats. Rillaboom is actually a big concern to my team because Sword Stance, Rillaboom does really well against my team. I feel like in general, Keldeo can kind of wall break, especially if it gets a Calm Mind sub variant. Weavile just hits really hard against my team. I don't have the best switches to Weavile at all, and I'm not bringing Umbreon in this week. A Gardevoir I'm actually very scared of. Calm Mind Gardevoir is actually a huge threat. Choice Specs or Choice Scarf could also be threatening, especially with the Pokemon I decided to bring. It's really good against Amoonguss, Conkeldurr, Rotom. It's just a good Pokemon against a lot of my team, so I'm really scared of Gardevoir. Salazzle, oh boy, this thing, if it sub-toxics me, stalls, it just I can't stop it. It toxics Corviknight and Amoonguss. What can I do against it? My poison immunities get toxic. It's fast as heck too. It hits actually really hard against my team. It's a really scary Pokemon to deal with. Druddigon I could definitely see being brought here because I think rocks are actually really good against my team because of it's his only hazard setter really that pressures me, I think. And I think getting rocks up just messes up a lot of the calcs for Rillaboom, a Weavile especially. So yeah, I'm pretty much thinking he's gonna bring Druddigon. Heliolisk, I think Heliolisk can be scary, but I think I'm okay against Heliolisk. Steelix, not that worried about. Drifblim, I'm actually a little bit scared about because Grassy Seed on Burden could be threatening because if he's Calm Mind with Drifblim, could be a little bit scary because like it just sets up and can like strength zap heal infinitely on Corv. It can be definitely a bit of a problem Pokemon, so yeah, I do have to be cautious about that. And then Shelmet, the only thing I'm confused about the draft is Shelmet, and I'm not really expecting it. It's really bad against a lot of my team too, I feel like, so I don't think that the Shelmet's going to be brought. So the Pokemon I'm pretty much assuming is going to bring for sure, I think it's going to be Rillaboom, Keldeo, and Weavile. Like for sure, I think those three are coming. Salazzle I think has to be brought here, so I think those are the four. Out of the remaining two, I'd say it's a mix of between the three of Gardevoir, because I think Gardevoir is really good offensively against my team. Druddigon for the Stealth Rocks, because I think Stealth Rocks are really good, solid against my team in general. For the Calcs, that can mess me up. And then I think Drifblim, because I think it could sweep with the Calm Mind Unburdened set. So those are probably the Pokemon I'm the most scared of. So I ended up picking this draft specifically, and we are bringing actually a new member to the field right away. So let's see if they will be able to put in work. But the first member we're going to go over is Conkeldurr, Flame Orb Guts with Drain Punch, Rock Blast, Knockoff, Mach Punch, 220 HP, 236 attack, and 52 special defense with a Brave Nature. Now I'm bringing Trick Room this week, and I think that Conkeldurr on the Trick Room, if you look at his team, he really doesn't have good switches to Conkeldurr at all. Like everything doesn't like to take a Drain Punch. The only Pokemon that can switch in a Drain Punch is Drifblim, which doesn't like Rock Blast or Knockoff, and Gardevoir, which is already kind of frail. Like everything else, I guess Salazzle can switch in a fighting move, but it's gonna take a lot. Maybe if he brings defensive Druddigon, which I could see, but otherwise, like, yeah, Drain Punch, just like Flame Orb Guts Conkeldurr just does a lot of work. And the reason I'm going to actually go Flame Orb Guts this time is because like I want to get burned instead of toxic by the Salazzle for sure, as that Pokemon can be a problem. I'm running Rock Blast so I can hit through substitute Salazzle, because Sub Protect Toxic is definitely a set I can 100% see coming. At Monster Threats, I want to make sure I have as many answers as possible, so I am running the Flame Orb Guts Conkeldurr. And yeah, like the HP, like just the EV Spread just to do as much damage, bulk out as much as possible. And yeah, not much to say. It's just like it's just supposed to be a wall breaker. I think this thing does really well, especially against Weavile, because like this thing can always just threaten Weavile with Mach Punch, and like Drain Punch is just so threatening against his team in general too. And yeah, it has pretty good coverage against the rest of his team. So I definitely think that my win con will be Conkeldurr under Trick Room, because it can just do a lot of damage and heal up recovery. This thing can take attacks too, which is really nice. So yeah, I think Conkeldurr is going to be really nice. Next is going to be Choice Scarf for Boot. I've been really liking the Choice Scarf for Boot set, but the reason is it's really good against the team in general of Nexus, because like Weavile is not a Pokemon you think is going to be Choice Scarf. The only Pokemon I could see running Choice Scarf on his team really is going to be the Gardevoir. That's the only Pokemon I'm scared of potentially having a Choice Scarf. Maybe Heliolisk, but I think I'd be more scared of Gardevoir with Choice Scarf, but I'll cross that road when it comes out. So I'm bringing Choice Scarf for Boot here because it does help with the Weavile. I want pressure specifically to deal with like Rillaboom as well as that Weavile, and I want U-turn pressure because like if I can pressure the Weavile into switching, I can keep getting momentum. Like I can keep getting in Conkeldurr. I could get like I could get my Reboot out of there into a good Pokemon position. Like if I would switch into Reboot, maybe like the Keldeo, for instance. If the Keldeo comes in, I do have the Alolan Exeggutor, which I am thinking of going to be coming out. If it's Salazzle, I do have other answers to it. And yeah, I think overall, like just being able to U-turn out against this team, like a fast U-turn is really nice. And this thing hits hard. Damages the Rillaboom, can live a +2 Grassy Glide, I think, for sure. And yeah, so we're running Choice Scarf of Libero, Flare Blitz, Gunk Shot, U-turn, and Mud Shot with 28 HP, 188 attack, 36 defense, 160 special attack, and 140 speed with a Naughty Nature. Very complicated Reboot, but the logic behind this is Flare Blitz, Gunk Shot, and U-turn. I want Gunk Shot for Gardevoir, that Pokemon, and Rillaboom, I guess. It also hits Keldeo, which is kind of nice. Just a nice little threat overall to them. Flare Blitz for the Rillaboom, and obviously Stab. U-turn, of course, like the pressure, and then Mud Shot. Mud Shot's interesting. So it's a special ground type move, not really powerful, but with Libero, I calc this on the Salazzle. With the 116 special attack, it allows me to OHKO 4 HP Salazzle. And then if it's a max HP Salazzle, I actually prevent Salazzle from setting up a substitute. That's actually really cool, because I don't think he would Flamethrower in this situation. I think he would always click Sludge Bomb. And yeah, being able to just like Mud Shot it and like resist the Sludge Bomb if he goes for it, or if he tries to substitute, I get a Mud Shot off, and like basically the Salazzle's gone, which is amazing for me. So yeah, I think it's a really cool addition, a really cool tech move for Salazzle, because I'm prepping for Salazzle. That Pokemon's just a huge threat to my team in general. So like I'm prepping everything for that Salazzle. And yeah, the EV spread allows me, I think it's just speed creep the Weavile. I've done a lot of speed creeping with my teams in the past. So like if Nexus has watched it and studied up, like he might bring Scarf Gardevoir, for instance, that's like 1 point faster than the Weavile, for instance. And if he does that, I outspeed with the Reboot. I guess I'm pretty sure that's what I did with the EV spread. I hope that's what the number does. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. 116 again for the Mudshot calc, and then like trying to get as much attack as possible for the U-turn to do damage, as well as like a little bit of extra bulk just in case like again rocks can go up, as well as like living plus 2 grassy glide from Rillaboom as long as I resist it. So yeah, that is basically going to be the Reboot. I think this Pokemon very good for pivoting, especially into my bigger threats. Following is going to be our Corviknight here, and pretty much just a standard Corviknight. I don't see a reason not to, because this Pokemon, I mean, Corviknight's really good against this team. Just a simple leftover set with pressure, Brave Bird, U-turn, Roost, Defog with max HP, 196 defense, 60 special defense with an impish nature. I mean, not much to say. It's Corviknight, right? It's just really good against this team. Handles Rillaboom decently well, can handle Keldeo for, or at least hit it for super effective. Can kind of wall Weavile, which is what this set is designed for. Can take on Gardevoir if it doesn't have like Calm Mind, Mystical Fire, or Choice Specs. I guess it hits the Shelmet, but really not much to say. It's just like a good way to deal with the Weavile as well as the Rillaboom. The calcs are, I don't remember the specific calc I had with the defense. I think it was like something specific for the Weavile and Triple Axle, if I remember correctly, but I'm not exactly too sure. But I remember being comfortable with the defense stat and having a little bit of special defense just in case of like taking the Drifloon Shadow Ball, or maybe like a Scald from Keldeo, for instance. And I really just want a defensive pivot. Like I want to defog 100%, because again, rocks mess up so many of my calcs. Stealth rocks mess up so many of my calcs that I really want them pretty much non-existent. So I want to make sure Corviknight can come in and just defog. And yeah, it's pretty much the only defog option I have, because I'm running offensive on counter. The Rotom you'll see is a little bit special, but yeah, have the Brave Bird U-turn for pivoting. Again, I want to try to pivot, because like getting Trick Room up or getting Conkeldurr in, or even Reboot back in, is like really good against Nexus's team. Like having that pressure, that momentum against like an offensive team, I think is really good in general, because if they're forced to switch and you can keep getting that momentum, like you can chip them, you can just continually chip them down. And yeah, I do think that this is the best set that I can bring here. Just a standard Corviknight, but like, you know, it works. It just does what it needs to do. And I think that's definitely a smart way to play. Roost recovery, like again, the flying coverage is just amazing against the team in general. And Corviknight definitely going to be like a pivot to quite a few of the threats potentially on the team. So next Pokemon, we're finally bring our new agent, our Exeggutor. So we're going with a Citrus Harvest set with Grassy Glide, Stomping Tantrum, Draco Meteor, and Trick Room. Oh boy, this set, 252 HP, a 196 attack, 60 special defense, and a brave nature. I'm very excited to use this Alolan Exeggutor. You have no idea. Like I really want to use it. It's such a fun set, I think, especially for the upcoming. So because he's bringing grassy terrain with the Rillaboom, like I would be amazed if he didn't bring Rillaboom, but I think Rillaboom has to come, right? So I'm thinking that the Rillaboom comes, and that means grassy terrain is going to be on the field, which means I get grassy glide pressure as well, especially against the Keldeo, which could be a little bit actually scary to my team, especially with the mons I'm bringing. So like I have that grassy glide pressure to deal with the Keldeo, and overall the damage output that I just want is amazing. So I decided to go with Stomping Tantrum. The reason I went Stomping Tantrum and Exeggutor, you might be wondering, why Stomping Tantrum exactly? And the reason is because under grassy terrain, Earthquake damage is actually halved. So it's only like a 50 base power move against the Salazzle, which is ×4 because it's super effective, 200 base power, which means maybe a bulky set could actually live, while Stomping Tantrum just allows me to get more power out of it. And yeah, I'd just be able to guarantee Oko to Salazzle, unless maybe it's Shuckle and max defense, but I didn't really calc that. I'll calc that before the battle, but like I think Stomping Tantrum is definitely a cool tech specifically to deal with the Salazzle even under the grassy terrain. Draco Meteor, because of the fact that he does have a Druddigon, which I do expect to bring, but it also hits basically everything that, you know, kind of resists grassy glide, as well as Stomping Tantrum. It hits the Rillaboom pretty hard, which is like a potential switch. And yeah, like I think this Exeggutor is going to be really good. Grassy Glide pressure for Gardevoir in case like it becomes a problem in the late game. Can hit Healerless. It can just hit a lot of mons. Like Draco Meteor also hits Driplim, which is nice. And yeah, I think getting Trick 'em Up, the Citrus Harvest Berry set could work as well. I was thinking of going Frisk for a while, but with leftovers potentially. But like I was just like, you know what? I kind of want to bring the Citrus Harvest set because like this might allow me to get like multiple Citrus Berry up, which means I might be able to like switch out Exeggutor and then like, you know, have that Citrus Berry once again, set up Trick Room later in the game, and I feel like maybe it's more reliable to get it off. So yeah, I really want to try it out. So yeah, we are gonna bring this Alolan Exeggutor set with Trick Room, and I think it's just really good against the team. Once again, it can do a ton of work, and my game plan is going to revolve around getting this thing in and getting the Trick Room up. The only thing I'm worried about is that the Keldeo is running Icy Wind, but I'm thinking like Calm Mind sub is like very likely from the Keldeo because like I think it just beats down like Amoonguss and stuff. So yeah, like I'm not expecting Icy Wind realistically. If it is, it's a little bit problematic, but I should be able to force it out with the pressure if Grassy Terrain's like on the field most of the time, because Grassy Glide was going to do a lot of damage from this. So yep, we got Rotom Wash next, and this Rotom Wash set, I'm bringing a different set than I normally do. So I'm bringing a really defensive Rotom Wash set, and the reason I'm bringing a really defensive Rotom Wash set is because one, Weavile's a little bit of an issue, Keldeo can be a little bit annoying, Salazzle's a little bit annoying, and yeah, like really I didn't need Rotom as an offensive mod because like Grassy Glide is always going to pressure from Rillaboom, so there's no point in really setting up Rotom. I feel like this game Weavile puts on too much pressure, so I'm like, okay, what can I really do here? So I liked Rotom in general. The coverage was pretty nice overall. Could take hits from Salazzle, for instance. So I'm going with the Chesto Berry Rest set. So we got Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, Toxic, and Rest with 252 HP, 180 defense, and 76 special defense with a Calm Nature. Now, the reason I'm going to go with this is because of the defensive investment. I think the defensive investment allowed me to live just like standard Grassy Glide from like a max attack invested Rillaboom, no offensive item. I'm pretty sure he's gonna run like some kind of offensive item like the Miracle Seed or the Life Orb, but overall I feel like just having that option just in case is really nice. I didn't know where to put the EVs anyway, because like I'm not using Rotom for offensive pressure. I actually was calcing Keldeo too, and like even if Keldeo gets +2 with Calm Mind, like unless it's a really bulky Keldeo, it's not, the substitute's not letting Volt Switch, so I felt like there's not really a point in doing that. So in Hydro Pump actually just Oko Salazzle, even if it's like max HP. So like there's really no calc I really wanted to hit with the Rotom, so I was like, I'm just gonna go full special defense, just dump the rest in special defense, and yeah, just end up going with that. This thing is supposed to absorb Toxics from Salazzle, hopefully like wear it down. Volt Switch again, momentum is really huge against the team. I can Volt Switch against Keldeo, potentially on the sub. And then like a Grassy Terrain's available, like I can hit the Keldeo and knock it out with Grassy Glide from my Exeggutor. And yeah, the pressure is good. Toxic for type Nola is really good. Toxic for Keldeo is good again if it's like a sub Calm mindset. If I could get a Toxic off on Druddigon too if he thinks it's a safe switch, as well as like the Drifblim, which could be annoying if it is a Calm mindset. So yeah, like I think Toxic Rotom's actually really good. I'm not sure if he's gonna run Heal Bell on this week. I don't even know if he has Heal Bell option actually. Maybe on Gardevoir, but I don't think he would bring support Gardevoir, so yeah, I don't expect it. Toxic's really good against the team in general. Like the only Pokemon that probably might be a problem was if he brought type Null and has Rest, but I don't think he'd bring type Null against my Conkeldurr team with Corviknight. It like gets walled immensely. So yeah, I think Toxic's going to be really good. Maybe I could get the chest of rest offset and Rotom could do a bit more work. Like it's not really supposed to be a big help with the team, but it's supposed to patch up some of the weaker parts. Again, I am worried about Salazzle. I am a little bit worried about Steelix with what I'm bringing. So yeah, I might as well just like try to cover up the matchups. And finally, we have Frostlass, and this Frostlass is a little bit different. I'm running an Assault Vest set this time with Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Psychic, and Poltergeist. So we have just a standard 4 HP, 252 special attack, and 252 speed with a Timid Nature. Now you might be wondering why Assault Vest Frostlass, and the reason I'm bringing Assault Vest Frostlass is because I really actually didn't know what I was thinking of what I wanted to build. Originally, I was going to go Choice Band with Triple Axle, Icicle Crash, and Poltergeist. But I felt like overall it wasn't exactly that great. I was really worried about Choice Scarf Gardevoir potentially. Like I wasn't taking a hit from Salazzle. There's just like a lot of Pokemon that was just being problematic. And I felt like, okay, what am I gonna exactly do here? Cause I didn't need Frostless for a super offensive role. I even thought about running Choice Scarf on this thing, but then Rillaboom kind of like shuts that down with the Grassy Glide. So I'm like, okay, what am I using Frostless for? So I'm like, okay, I can't exactly KO anything. Even if I run Choice Specs, I can't like KO Keldeo. I feel like I can't. Weavile is a very safe switch anyway, because like Weavile takes pretty much every single hit from Frostless unless Will-O-Wisp, I guess, unless they're worried about switching to Will-O-Wisp. And yeah, like I just didn't know exactly what I would really do with like an offensive Frostless here in this position, because like I don't think it changes much in the game. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go special defensive, because like the Pokemon that's fast other than Weavile is Keldeo, Gardevoir, Salazzle, and Heliolisk, and they're all specially offensive Pokemon. So I was like, okay, Frostless is like being able to probably 2 KO most of these Pokemon, so I might as well just like use Assault Vest, be able to tank a hit, and then maybe like clean up some Pokemon. So that's basically what the thought process was of having this Assault Vest one. So Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, pretty specific stabs. Like I think it's just reliable, which is really nice. Ice Beam hit a Rillaboom, the Druddigon, in case he's like, again, a physically defensive Druddigon. Hits like Heliolisk pretty well, can hit Steelix, Driplim, like I ignore a Grassy Seed boost. So yeah, special Frostless I feel like was pretty good. Psychic, mainly to hit the Keldeo and the Salazzle. I didn't need Thunderbolt since like it would only hit the Keldeo, so Psychic just covered everything with the Salazzle and the Keldeo as switch-ins. And then the last move is Poltergeist. So I wasn't sure because I was debating about this move immensely. At one point I even considered Blizzard, but I was like, it's either Ice Shard, I think, or Poltergeist. And the reason is Ice Shard was pretty nice, maybe late game potentially. If it did come down to that situation, I could definitely see it. Because he does have some ice weeks. And then like I decided to go Poltergeist because, you know, like if Keldeo's Calm Mind, I'm not going to do too much damage with my special moves. So I might as well just hit on the physical side if I can, potentially. Gardevoir on the weaker side I think is really nice to hit with Poltergeist. I think it just like will help me out immensely against Gardevoir a little bit more, and hit Salazzle for a decent amount as well. And it allows me to maybe scout out for items. So I felt like overall the Frostless set was definitely a thing. It's mainly just to help against the special attacker threats, because like, you know, it's able to wall, it's allowed me to switch in, which means I don't have to always switch in like Corviknight for instance. And yeah, it's just a Pokemon that's just supposed to help spread around damage, and you know, can maybe pressure late game if I'm able to get rid of Weavile, because like if I get rid of Weavile, maybe get rid of Salazzle as well in the early game, like this Frostless can put in a lot of work. So yeah, that's gonna be the 6 members we're gonna be bringing to a week 5 of the WBE against Nexus. Again, I think he has a really scary team. Like Swords Dance Rillaboom I'm really scared about. The Toxic Sub on the Salazzle, if I put myself in a bad position, I can definitely see like that being a very big problem. And then like Gardevoir, again, I think Gardevoir is really scary as well. And Weavile is just like a Pokemon, if I don't check correctly, it's just like gonna demolish my team. So I gotta be careful about that. The game plan is getting Trick Room up with the Exeggutor in key positions, maybe even 2, having Conkeldurr try to sweep most of the game. So yeah, and then use everything for pivots, have Reboot and Frostless open up to do damage, Rotom Wash as well as Corviknight for switching in to take a hit and pivoting for momentum. And yeah, that's basically the goal of this team. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, comment down below which you think will be the MVP of our match. And yeah, we will see. But right now we're going to cut to the battle against Nexus. So here we go. Oh, what is up YouTube? James Baek here, and today we have week 5 of the WBE. Today is the Jubilife Piplups. I am coach of it against Coach Nexus, coach of the Pittsburgh Pichus. Should be a good one. Let's get started and play. I'm excited. This one's a very scary team though. Like I'm facing 2 really aggressive teams right off back to back, so this is probably going to be one of my most challenging battles I think so far. But I think I prepped well. I do think I prepped well, so it should be a good one. I'm hoping that the team is able to pull in some work. Again, I'm really concerned about this team. I think this team's probably one of my scariest matchups in the WBE. It has so many threats. Like Nexus has so many threats. You can go check out his channel, by the way, if you haven't already. Go check it down below. He's a funny guy, awesome content. Go check him out. Link in the description down below. Oh, that's not fun. All right, we finally got into team preview. Me and Nexus have been trying to connect for like over 40 minutes now. Finally, I'm happy. All right, we finally get to see the team. Heliolisk, Salazzle. Yep, Salazzle, Weavile, which I expected, Keldeo, which I expected, Druddigon, which I kind of expected because I think Rocks is really good against me. So these are pretty much in the range of my expectations that I did expect them to bring. Let's see. I just want to make sure I write everything down. And Keldeo. Okay. So I really don't want to get pressured by the Weavile lead early. I just don't know whether the Druddigon is leading or not. Because Druddigon's actually a pretty scary Pokemon to my team in general. So I'm thinking of leading Reboot and just clicking U-turn. Because like that Weavile is just such a massive threat to my team. It really is. It just does so much here. So let's go with the Reboot lead. I think it's really strong against this team. Gonna try to sweep because this team is really fast for the most part, except Druddigon. So I'm gonna try to sweep with my Conkeldurr under Trick Room because that's the opportune time. I think getting the Conkeldurr under Trick Room is going to be the most pivotal part of my game plan here. And yeah, leading Reboot, just like I can U-turn out immediately if it's Weavile, which is really nice. And the reason I want to do that is because that Weavile pretty much gets a KO every single time I bring in a Pokemon other than Conk. So I want to make sure that I have the good check to the Weavile. Let's see what they decide to lead here. Gonna be the Onga. Okay, the Rillaboom. Okay, so Rillaboom does lead here. That's fine. I could go for the Flare Blitz right away. I don't think it KOs though, so I do not think it's worth going for it. I think U-turn is just my safest play. Probably into Corviknight, although they are probably going to U-turn themselves. And you know, as long as like it does invite into Salazzle, which is a problem. But you know what, let's just go for the U-turn anyway. I think it's the safest play because I think they're going to U-turn out themselves, but they're actually going to switch, which is completely fine. All right, so we're going to see that their next Pokemon is going to be that Druddigon. So probably Rough Skin, I'd imagine, to wear down the Reboot. We get a U-turn off. How much damage? Rough Skin does activate. Yep, not surprised. I got to be careful about that because it does matter for Calc against... Oh, it's Rocky Helmet too. All right. So I get to go the Frostlass here, and I'm Assault Vest Frostlass, and the damage should be pretty nice since it's probably physically defensive Druddigon, I'm assuming, to tackle on the Reboot specifically. So I'm going to bring in my Frostlass here, and I don't know. I think Weavile comes in, so I kind of want to double out here. Maybe Conkeldurr. I think it'd be... Salazzle could come out too, which is why I'm thinking going Conkeldurr. Because Conkeldurr hits everything on his team with a very powerful Drain Punch afterward. So you know what? Yeah, let's make the double. I do want to go into my Conkeldurr. I don't think he gives up his Druddigon for an Ice Beam here, potentially. So I'd rather just go out into my Conkeldurr and just like try to keep up offensive momentum as they do switch out Druddigon, which is perfect here. So we're going to see the Weavile come out. Yep, pretty much as anticipated. And now I get a really heavy Drain Punch. His team really doesn't like dealing with Drain Punch here. And Weavile can attack. It would go down here. Do I want to try to catch something? He didn't bring Gardevoir, which I'm very relieved because Gardevoir was a problem Pokemon that I had to deal with. So you know what? Let's go for the Guts boosted Drain Punch here and do a ton of damage to his team. We're going to see the switch out here from the Weavile. Going to be Druddigon once again. It looks like it is going to be that Druddigon. Okay. I wonder if he's going to try to get Rocks up. So we will get the Drain Punch off. That does a good amount to the Druddigon. That's like over 50%. We are going to take the Rough Skin and the Rocky Helmet and then the burn damage, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I think it's fine for the most part. I got to figure out about keeping Conkeldurr alive, though, because Conkeldurr is pretty important in this matchup. Do I want to go Corv here? Because he might defog. I mean, get up the rocks. I could see it. Or do I want to go back into the Weavile here? Because, I mean, not Weavile, the Frostlass here. Because Frostlass doesn't invite too much, actually, against his team overall. I think the rest of my mons do a better job handling it. And I really don't want to take, like, a Draco Meteor if he has it. It would hurt quite a bit, and I don't want Conkeldurr being too low. So, you know what? Let's go out into my Frostlass here and just try to, I think, keep up momentum. Although I would get rid of the Druddigon, I don't like exactly taking a big hit here, potentially. We're just going to see the rocks come up. Okay, so I could have went Corv. Corv would have been better, I think, in the mid-ground. But the problem is I didn't knock out Druddigon, and I take too much recoil, I think. And I want to keep Corv healthy for that Rillaboom. So we'll go for a... an Ice Beam is pretty safe here. Do they go into Weavile again as I potentially double? Again, I think Frost Blast is very expendable in this game for the most part. So you know what? I'm going to go for the Ice Beam. Let's see here. I think they do preserve Druddigon, but we'll see. We are going to see the Druddigon switch out here into, yep, it is going to be, I think, the Weavile. Oh, Heliolisk this time. Okay, so that takes an Ice Beam, which isn't exactly that great unless they're decently bulky. Oh, they take it pretty decently. Okay, but I'm Assault Vest on my side, so it's completely okay here. Grassy terrain disappears from the battlefield. Actually, a Conkeldurr double would have actually been very nice here, but it's fine. Yeah, like the worst case is they Volt Switch, right? If they're Scarf, not that big of a deal, I think. I'm gonna go for the Ice Beam here just because, like, I don't think Heliolisk is that big of a problem, and I don't think I need Frost Blast for this game personally. Because, like, it only really hits the, I guess, the Rillaboom, because, like, I already weakened the Druddigon here. So, yeah, I'm just gonna Ice Beam. If they bring in Salazzle, I'm just gonna keep spamming Psychic. As we are faster than the Heliolisk, so not Scarf. Good damage. As the U-turn. It's U-turn. Ought to be Volt Switch, but maybe they were scared of Rhyperior. It's Life Orb on the Heliolisk. Okay, so it only gets like one more turn unless it gets some grassy terrain healing. All right, Life Orb U-turn. And we know this is Rocky Helmet Rocks. All right, not bad. Let's see. They're probably going to go Weavile. I'm going to give them a KO, I think. That's fine. Weavile is going to come out. Or do I give them the KO? They go for knockoff, right? Do they go for the triple axle right away? Because I just don't see it. Am I fine with losing this Pokemon? Maybe it's just better to go Corv. Because I am physically defensive Corv. We don't know what kind of Weavile it is, though, which is the concern. I'm going to go Corv, though. Let's see how this works. I'm not... Actually, I don't think the Corv play is good. I think Conk would have been better. On the hard knockoff and then Mach Punch. Yeah, because I put on more pressure. Let's see. Could be knockoff. Yep. Are they Life Orb? Oh, they're Choice Band. Okay, they have to be Choice Band. All right, so I'm going to go for the Roost here. Because it has to be Choice Band and Weavile to do that much, I think. Yeah, should be. Because it has to have Life Orb or Choice Band, I think. And it has to be Choice Band, I think. Based on the calc that I did, yeah. Should be Choice Banded. All right, so I'm going to Roost up. Choice Band Weavile is very scary. I got to watch out for Mach Punch in the late game. I do feel like getting Trick Room up is pretty easy, though, against the team overall. So if I can get Trick Room up, that'd be nice. Foreskin's going to come out, which is going to be the Heliolisk once again, but it only gets one hit, so not really that concerning. Roost is going to come out. I don't want to take a Thunderbolt here, so what's most expendable here? Probably Rotom. Rotom doesn't do much other than maybe Keldeo. Yeah, let's go Rotom. I think Rotom's fine. Even if they get in Rillaboom, I can maybe Toxic it. The problem is dealing with the Rillaboom, but the thing is, Rillaboom's best way to hit me is usually Drain Punch or Knockoff, and Knockoff already got rid of my item, so it's going to be weaker. So let's see. Bring in the Rotom as they're probably going to Volt Switch. Thunderbolt? Probably Thunderbolt. Yeah, I don't mind like Rotom taking the damage. It's not like super useful in this matchup. So Heliolisk will go down here. To the Life Orb, okay. Where they bring out next? I think Rillaboom or Keldeo could come out here. We're gonna see the Rillaboom come in. All right. I wonder if it's SD because I think Swords Dance is very likely to come out here. I really want to get a Toxic off because I really don't need Rotom, I think, in this matchup. Granted, I could go Exeggutor, but you know what? I'm going to fire for Toxic. I think U-turn is going to come out, or you Swords Dance. I don't think you click the Grass move. I don't think Grass move makes much sense in this position. Because, like, I don't think the Grass move, like, benefits. Like, it doesn't get you positioning. It gives me a free switch, which it does. Yeah, U-turn going to come out. Okay. So U-turn going to come out. It's Life Orb on the Rillaboom, too. Wow, he brought double Life Orb. Okay. That's good to know. I don't need Rotom, and actually I could probably rest up if Druddigon comes out, which is actually kind of nice. But let's see who they're going to bring out. If it's Druddigon, I get a Toxic off, so that thing's on the timer, which is nice. We're going to see Keldeo. Oh, that's a good Toxic here. That's an amazing Toxic here. So I'm able to get a Toxic off into the Keldeo, which is pretty solid here because getting a Toxic off into Keldeo means that it's going to be on a timer, especially if it's a Calm Mindset. So I really like that, actually. All right. I could... Well, I can't rest up because of the Stealth Rocks. I'd have to get up rocks to get the rest off, and the only Pokemon I can rest up against is the Druddigon, which I think is not going to be like that good. So I'm gonna just go for the rest attempt, because if they try to like over anticipate, go for a double or calm mind or something, yeah, it's fine. They go for surf. Okay, surf knocks out the Rotom here, which is fine. I do have Brave Bird on the core, but I want to defog though. I think it depends on what kind of Keldeo this is. I don't think it's specs unless he really would go aggressive. He would have to go really aggressive, I think. Yeah, I could also go Exeggutor, and actually this might be the time to get Trick Room up. Yeah, this might be the time to get Trick Room up. I like the Trick Room a lot here. Yeah, Trick Room's really good here because like I KO almost everything on his team, so I'm gonna bring out the Exeggutor and just go for the Trick Room. I think I see Wind shouldn't KO me unless it's Expert Belt, but I think he'd be worried about Grassy Glide potentially. So yeah, Trick Room up, and then maybe Exeggutor plus Conkeldurr can just sweep the team. Yeah, I like that a lot. Draco Meteor is gonna hurt that Rillaboom coming in. I just gotta watch out because I gotta figure out the late game. I think Conkeldurr can win by late game Mach Punching for sure, but I gotta watch out for Rillaboom's grass attack here. We are gonna see the Keldeo switch. Maybe the Druddigon gonna come out. Oh, Salazzle. Oh, I have the Stomping Tantrum. Does he know? Does he know? Does he know is the question. I will go for it. And you know what? I am gonna go for it. So we do bring the Trick Room Alolan Exeggutor, and we will go for the Stomping Tantrum that we do have for the Salazzle specifically. So come on, please don't expect it. He did expect it. Is he Shucka? Stomping Tantrum into the Salazzle is gonna pick up a knockout. Let's go, Exeggutor. All right, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. We're able to eliminate one of the biggest threats to my Corviknight. Oh, that feels so good, man. Getting that Stomping Tantrum off is amazing. And I mean amazing. Getting rid of the answers. Getting rid of the answers to my core. We're gonna see Druddigon come out. Okay, I will fire off a... Should I even fire off an attack? Or should I just go Corv? I could defog. Like, I could set up Trick Room later in the game, which is good too. I think getting a defog off would be really nice here. Yeah, I think getting a defog would be really nice up here. Druddigon has limited recovery options. I don't know if you have the dragon move or not, but Corv is just a very safe mid ground, I think. Let's see. Oh, he has Fire Punch. Good read. That does nothing though. I'm gonna roost up here. Grassy terrain disappears. Should I roost first or should I... Yeah, I should roost first because the Druddigon's probably slower than Corviknight. I don't remember what I made my Corviknight speed exactly. Fire Punch gonna come out once again. Okay. 95 to 39. Okay. So that's like 60. And I will get a roost off. So I should be like out of another Fire Punch range. And I can defog the rocks potentially. I mean, I'm gonna roost again, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna roost again. I kind of want to defog now because I think if he switched, it would have been there. But we're gonna see Fire Punch once again. Maybe just trying to go for the burn. I mean, he doesn't have too many Fire Punches because how many is that? That's 3 so far. So that's 6 Fire Punches gone. Okay. Trigger returns to normal, which is fine. I'll get a defog off. If he wants to play the stall war, I will definitely go for it because I think it is in my best interest to win this war here, as we will defog. And we're gonna see Fire Punch once again, so that's 8 now. No burn, which is nice. I'm actually gonna go for the Brave Bird and then roost. I think that might be my best interest. Just get a little bit of chip. I know I'm gonna take quite a bit, but like put this Druddigon low, and I mean low, and then I'll roost up again, and then like I'll defog because he doesn't have good answers to Corviknight here either. So like we'll take a bunch of chip. I think we'll live the next Fire Punch. Oh, that's close actually. Oh, that might go down. Oh, but he goes for rocks. Okay, perfect. I had a feeling he would go for rocks. I think he really wants them up. But yeah, I'll go for the roost again. I don't know if he's gonna just like sack this Druddigon here. Sacking the Druddigon's completely fine for me, I think, because I win the stall war regardless. Like I'm gonna be able to get the rocks gone, I think, eventually, and then like Brave Bird KO the Druddigon. I'm pretty sure at least. Here comes Fire Punch once again. It's like that's 10. Yeah, so I'm gonna roost again. try defog first. Yeah, I always roost. I want the recovery. I don't care if he switches, because like Bandit Weavile is not too much of a threat, because the Corviknights was already knocked off. I'm gonna defog the next turn, I think. Yeah. Fire Punch. Okay. Wow, that did a lot less. That's a low roll, I think. So I could Brave Bird here, and or defog, and I'm gonna defog always. Because I could Brave Bird the next turn potentially, but like it's just like smart saving Corviknight, right? Because like he doesn't have good answers to this Pokemon. All right, so you might be wondering why are we on Pokemon Showdown? Well, the problem was me and Nexus DC'd, and we tried to recreate it, and then we DC'd again. So I don't know what's going on there, but okay, it's fine. It's fine. Want to defog? It's kind of annoying that this situation happened because what happened was we DC'd, so the game's a little bit different, but we tried to recreate it as best as possible. So yeah, this is what we're gonna get. I'm gonna roost up. I'm just basically trying to stall out the fire punches so I can get a safe to get the hazards off, basically, because getting rid of the hazards I think is really good against him. I'm gonna just stall it out a little bit with the defog, and yes, we are gonna play this long game because like it is my optimal play. He has like limited fire punches because of the pressure. So are rocks up still? Actually, yeah, rocks are still up. Oh wait, no, rocks aren't up, so I could technically Brave Bird, but I think my best interest is actually just to keep roosting here. Where's it a Brave Bird? But then I'd be super low. Yeah, I'm gonna roost. Because I don't need Corviknight for super long in the game. I just need to make sure that Corviknight is around at a healthy amount to take on Keldeo or Rillaboom if it gets too problematic. So I will go for the roost stall a little bit and defog here. He could go for the rocks, but I'm not sure how many rocks he has compared to defogs because of pressure. Yeah, like I have a lot of defog, so I'm just going to keep defogging. It is my best play here regardless. Fire Punch going to come out once again. Luckily, no burns, which have been very lucky. We will go for the roost right here once again because I want Corviknight as healthy as possible. It is my best play just to keep the Corviknight around. And yes, it is a little bit boring, but yes, I do want to make the most optimal plays to win the game. And I do think that this is the most optimal plays to win the game. So I'll keep going for this for a little bit until he runs out of Fire Punches so I can just keep going for the attacks. So defog here as he probably gets either rocks up or roost. Yep, so I'm gonna defog once again. Wonder what his last move is. We haven't seen it yet. If he had glare, I wouldn't be surprised, but let's see. Just a fire punch once again, so I'll roost up, and I just want Corviknight as healthy as possible. I mean, that is the game we're playing right now, so we will try to roost up our Corviknight here as he does try to get up rocks once again. He is on a timer with the rocks and everything, so we will roost up once again as fire punch going to come out. He has no more fire punches left, which is really good, so we will go for the defog here. Oh wait, oh, the rocks were gone. Oh, he's gonna get rocks back up, never mind. That's actually kind of bad because he's probably gonna switch out right here unless he has like a very big shocker. No, he's just gonna keep spamming rocks. Okay, so I'm gonna go for, I just roost again. Yeah, I'll probably just roost again and then defog and spam defog, then Brave Bird. Yeah, I like that. Oh, he has roar. Surprised he hasn't revealed it earlier. Not this mon. Not this mon. Okay, he's probably gonna roar again, which is the problem part. I get gunk shot here. Although this Pokemon is really good to deal with late game. Should I just gunk shot here or should I just switch out here? This finally got something, but if I get rid of this, my Conkeldurr, it looks very, very nice in the back. So you know what? Let me think. Is it better to switch here or is it better to attack? I think Gunk Shot is the play. It should knock out the Druddigon, I think, at this range. And I think, yeah, I think Gunk Shot is the play. So I'm going to Gunk Shot here. Let's see. The problem is I wasn't able to get rid of the rocks. So that's a little bit unfortunate right here. As let's see who he brings out next. Keldeo could come out. I do have my Exeggutor. So Roar was the last move. I'm actually surprised he didn't try to roar me out earlier and keep up the, and I don't know, just spread rock damage to my team because my team is kind of weak to rocks at the moment. But it's okay. It's okay. Let's see what he's going to go for. That defog play was really bad, though. I really wish I was able to go for the Brave Bird or the Roost right there. I mean, the Brave Bird.
Yeah. So Keldeo is going to come out. I don't know if he has Icy Wind. That's the problem. Does he have Icy Wind? I do want to really get Trick him up with the... I really want to get Trick him up once again. So you know what? I'm going to go for the Gunk Shot and weaken this. I don't want to risk switching in. So Gunk Shot does a good amount actually. Surf going to come out. Okay. Perfect. And then I'm going to try to get Trick him up here. Or I could go Frostlass here, which wouldn't be that bad of a play. I could also go Core, but I do think that the Exeggutor should be able to live in Icy Wind. At least I'm hoping. And I don't know if he's Icy Wind. I don't think so, but we'll see. I'm gonna trick him up here. If this trick him is a bad idea, oh boy, that's rough for me. But you know what? I gotta go for it. So we will go for the trick room here. He probably switches out into Rillaboom. Yep, I do have Draco Meteor, so I will go for Draco Meteor into that Rillaboom and try to do as much damage as possible. So I'm gonna weaken it. Yep. So we'll go for the Draco Meteor right here. It is my best play, my best interest to target down the Rillaboom with the Draco Meteor and then like getting Conk, I think. And I think that is my best play in order to win this game. So Draco Meteor gonna come out, do a good amount of damage to the Rillaboom. Swords Dance gonna come out. Okay. I actually think Draco Meteor KOs again based on the damage. 70, 35. Yeah, it looks like it does. I'm gonna go for a Draco Meteor once again, and that should be able to knock out the Rillaboom. So he has Swords Dance, which I'm not surprised about. And I guess worst case scenario is if I miss, right? Because then he has Drain Punch. I mean, U-turn, Grassy Glide, Swords Dance. I don't know what his last move is. We crit there, which I think if we got the same roll, we KO'd anyway. So I don't think it's like that big of a deal personally. We're gonna see Keldeo out, and this should be a good game because I'm able to go for Grassy Glide and like sweep his team. So Grassy Glide that, and then like when his Weavile comes out, like I just Mach Punch it for the game. Unless he Swords Dance on the Weavile, I guess that's like the only big concern. But if he Swords Dance on Weavile, he needs Swords Dance, but I think he is Choice Banded based on the damage. So I am gonna Grassy Glide once again. How much does it do? Good amount of damage. As he goes for the Triple Axle, which will knock out my Exeggutor in one shot. But Conkeldurr should be able to sweep up the game, as we will be able to go for Conkeldurr and then Mach Punch to victory, I think. Because even if the Weavile has Ice Shard, shouldn't be able to knock me out. For instance, Ice Shard, I think, was the only like big player here. But unfortunately, he doesn't have it. So we'll be able to knock out. And then that is going to be a good game. And that is going to be WBE week 5, 4-1. Wow. I can't surprise. These two teams that I was facing this week were probably the scariest out of the draft, I think, matchup wise for me, I think, because just like the pressure, like the offensive pressure, like, was just like really difficult. And I feel like, yeah, it wasn't as much as I thought it was going to be. A little bit unfortunate we did have to play on Showdown, but you know, sometimes that just happens. I don't know why we kept disconnecting. I'm not exactly too sure. It didn't seem problematic. There was no weather issues, no internet really issues. I don't know why we were just DCing a bunch. But you know what? Sometimes it just happens. But luckily we were able to pull through. I mean, luckily the last couple turns weren't like super long. The only thing that was like really long was just me stalling out the game with Defog and Roost. But by the your timer, this game would have probably been exactly the same anyway. I mean, I guess maybe like burns or crits could have happened. I'm actually very surprised burns or crits didn't happen against my Corv. I was expecting to stall out longer, but you know what? Do stall it out is my optimal play. Keep Corv a little bit healthy, because as you saw, that Swords Dance Rillaboom, which I was expecting from Nexus, that was a very big problem to my team, and I wanted Corv as healthy as possible to deal with the Rillaboom just in case. So that's the reason why I wanted it. I was stubborn about it. I really wanted that Corviknight as healthy as possible to deal with this late game. So yeah, that's the reason why. And it's just about patience, really. Like, I think I had to play patient there, and it worked out. Like, yeah. So we are able to win against Nexus. Again, go check out his channel down below. If you want to check out the rest of my stuff, I do VGC competitive battles, and I'm planning to do more variety stuff as well. Maybe on the other channel, not this one. I have a second YouTube channel actually, as well as my Twitch channel. And yeah, make sure you go check out Nexus. Really funny guy. I've actually started watching a lot of his videos recently, and oh man, it's hilarious, dude. It's hilarious. Go check it out. Go check it out, man. But yeah, that's gonna be it for WBE. We're 4-1. I think it's halfway through this current season so far. So 4-1 playoffs is a dream. 4-1 playoffs is actually a possibility. But of course, I can screw up, so I gotta make sure. I gotta be careful about it. But yeah, I think that is going to be it. Again, you can go check out all the WBE stuff down below in the description. Check out Nexus, check out my other stuff. And yeah, until we battle again, I hope you have a great day, people. But until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.